What the heck happened to Sabine Wren? Like blink, and suddenly she's got a lightsaber, a Jedi Master who ghosted her, and the personality of someone who just lost their Spotify password. This is the same Sabine who used to graffiti TIE fighters for fun, right? The one who tossed thermal detonators like they were party favors and could outsmart half the Ghost crew without even blinking. Because what we got in Ahsoka feels less like a character arc and more like a character disappearance. Now don't get me wrong, I'm not anti-evolution. Characters should change. But this wasn't change. This was a creative lobotomy. Like someone in the writer's room said, hey, what if we make her a Jedi, but forget to give her a reason to want it, earn it, or even act like she likes it? And while we're at it, let's take all the colors off her armor, drain the personality out of her dialogue, and call it depth. But here's the real kicker. It didn't have to be this way. The foundation was there. The legacy was strong. The fans were ready. And instead of building on what worked, they stripped her down to a plot vehicle with a paint job. You don't just do that to Sabine Wren. You don't take a character we've followed for years and reduce her to Jedi Light's sidekick number 6. It's not just lazy writing, it's Star Wars malpractice. In this video, we're breaking down exactly how Ahsoka failed Sabine Wren, how a bold, vibrant, battle-scarred Mandalorian got reduced to a lightsaber-wielding shrug, from the retcon force sensitivity to the awkward training scenes to the emotional gut punches that never landed. We're diving into the betrayal behind the character, and why Sabine deserved so much more than this. From the second she walks on screen, it feels off. Her presence is weirdly muted. Like she's stuck in a CW drama, and no one told her Star Wars is supposed to be about legacy and identity, not just sulking on a speeder. And the Jedi training arc they shoehorned in it doesn't feel earned. It feels like they needed someone to hold a lightsaber, and she drew the short straw. Suddenly, Sabine has force sensitivity. Cool, I guess. Except nothing in her Rebels arc ever hinted at that. Not one bit. So naturally, the question becomes, why her? Why this version of her? And why now? Why take one of the most interesting characters in the Rebels crew and reduce her to the galaxy's moodiest apprentice? The show teases us with the idea that she's dealing with grief and guilt over Ezra, but it never lets us feel those things with her. It tells us she's changed, but it forgets to show us how or why that change matters. It's like they wanted Sabine to be someone else entirely, but didn't bother changing the name. And what's strange is that all the ingredients were there to tell a powerful, character-driven story about identity, loss, and what it means to grow up after war. But instead, they reintroduced her as if the past didn't happen. No trauma, no color, no spark, just tension and silence. And here's the thing, we're not nitpicking for the sake of it. We're asking questions because this version of Sabine just doesn't fit, not with what came before, and not with what she could have become. Something's missing and we need to find out what it is. Look, it's one thing to fumble a character. It's another to actively undermine her. And that's exactly what Ahsoka did with Sabine. They took a fierce Mandalorian warrior with a distinct voice, a rich history, and a rebellious heart and shoved her into a story where she barely makes choices for herself. And the worst part is, the show thinks it's doing her justice. From the start, it's clear Sabine isn't driving the plot, she's being dragged by it. Ahsoka lectures her, ignores her, distances herself emotionally. And when Sabine finally makes a choice to help Thrawn return so she can find Ezra, it's painted as a mistake instead of a sacrifice, she gets scolded for feeling like being loyal to her friend somehow makes her unworthy of training. Really, that's how we're measuring Jedi potential now, by emotional detachment. It hurts because we watched Sabine grow. We saw her wrestle with guilt over the weapon she helped design. We saw her learn to wield the darksaber with trembling hands and earn the respect of her people. We saw her rise from a sarcastic loner to a loyal sister figure in the Ghost crew. That journey mattered. And now it's like none of it happened. In Ahsoka, she's more emotionally distant than ever, but not in a way that shows maturity or trauma. It just feels empty. Like all that heart she had got stripped away and replaced with sullen silence and awkward tension. She barely speaks from the soul anymore. And when she does, it's buried under exposition or arguments with Ahsoka that go nowhere. Even her connection to Ezra gets flattened. In Rebels, their bond was complex. Not romantic, not simple, but deeply rooted in trust, conflict, and sacrifice. But when they reunite in Ahsoka, there's no emotional payoff. No tears, no explosive relief, not even a raw moment of, I did this for you. Just a weirdly casual hug and some jokes about how long it's been. That's it. And maybe the worst part is the sense of isolation. In Rebels, Sabine was never alone. Her story was always intertwined with others, Hera, Kanan, Zeb, Chopper, Ezra. They helped shape her. But in Ahsoka, she's adrift. She's got no strong bonds, no warm camaraderie, just cold training scenes and empty glances. And that's a tragedy for a character who once embodied passion and connection. So when we talk about how Ahsoka did Sabine dirty, it's not just about plot holes or power levels. It's about erasing years of emotional development for the sake of convenience. It's about forgetting who she wasn't, how much she meant to the fans who grew with her. Sabine wasn't just cool, she was important. She brought color to war-torn stories, both literally and figuratively. Her graffiti, her armor, her attitude, they all told you exactly who she was. She didn't just survive battles, she expressed them. Her identity wasn't in question, it was her power. And that's rare in Star Wars, where so many characters are defined by their family or their destiny. She was a Mandalorian who didn't let tradition define her. She had the guts to walk away from her clan, the strength to face her past, and the creativity to shape her future. Sabine took everything that was painful and made it hers her weapon, her guilt, her legacy. She wasn't defined by the Force, and that's what made her refreshing in a galaxy obsessed with it. Her relationships were also a standout. With Ezra, she had a bond that never needed labels. With Hera, she found the mother figure she never had. With Kanan, she learnt discipline and vulnerability. And with the Ghost crew as a whole, she became something bigger than a soldier. She became a symbol of healing and belonging. But here's the good news. Sabine Wren isn't gone. Not completely. There are still glimmers of who she was hiding in the cracks of Ahsoka. A smirk here, a spark of rebellion there, a defiant look in the face of certain death. She's still fighting to break free, even if the writing isn't letting her shine yet. And that's what gives me hope. Star Wars characters have come back from worse. We've seen arcs get redeemed in later seasons, spin-offs that dive deeper, and fan love that keeps a character alive even when the writers drop the ball. Sabine has too much history, too much love from fans, and too much potential to stay sidelined forever. If future stories, maybe Heir to the Empire, or even Rebels flashbacks take the time to explore her trauma, her growth, and her identity again, she could come back stronger than ever. There's still a Mandalorian heart under that Jedi cloak, still an artist under all the angst. She just needs a story that believes in her again, and the fans are already doing the work. Through fan art, breakdowns, rewatches of Rebels, and endless debates about her arc, the community is keeping Sabine's full legacy alive. That passion means something. It means there's a hunger to see her done right, to see her be more than a trainee with a grudge. So yeah, I believe in Sabine. I believe she can return to form. All it takes is one good story to remind the galaxy who she really is, and who she's always been underneath the silence. And in the end, maybe that's what stings the most. It's not just that Sabine Wren got done dirty, it's that she could have been something incredible again. Her story didn't need to be rewritten, it just needed to be continued. With all the scars, all the color, and all the contradictions that made her unforgettable in the first place. Instead, she was repackaged into someone quieter, flatter, and easier to manage. A sidekick who doesn't talk back. A Jedi in training without the spark. A warrior without a cause. And that's not just a disservice to her character, it's a disservice to the fans who believed in her journey. What we lost in Ahsoka wasn't just character development, it was an opportunity. A chance to explore what it means to be caught between cultures, between eras, between loyalty and pain. Thank you for watching. If you enjoy my videos, please consider looking at my pinned comment and checking out the links for my Amazon storefront. It contains my favorite Legos, my gear in which I make videos, and comics that I read on a daily basis. I update it constantly, so please, take a moment and click on the link. On top of that, check out my second channel, Critical Analysis Hub Plus, and my third channel, Critical Analysis Hub XP. Just one click would go on a long way in supporting my channels and future in YouTube.